What's going on, Philadelphia Forces? Christian. Dave Spadaro did an interview with Doug Pederson yesterday regarding all of the issues we had Sunday in the fourth quarter and the response that Nelson Aguilar gave once asked about drop passes, and even the situation with Josh Huff. If you missed it, here we go. I got you.
We welcome you to our weekly one-on-one with head coach Doug Pederson, presented by Wawa. And Coach, I'd like to get into the psychology of things first. How did you recover? What's the process that you have after losing such a tough game on Sunday night?
Yeah, you know, it takes a little while. It takes a while to flush your system, and because you're constantly reliving plays and scenarios and situations from the game. And so for me, it's a matter of just kind of, you know, watching the game as soon as I can after the game is over with, to go back through and make sure that even from a play calling standpoint, that I'm making sure I'm putting the guys in the right spots, and I'm calling plays when we anticipate certain coverages and certain looks. So I'm always critical of myself. And then after that, I just want to, you come in on a Monday and you got a fresh set of eyes, and you want to go through it again and just kind of sit back in a more of a relaxed atmosphere and make sure you were right on your assessment after the game and even during the game. And so really by the time you get through Monday and you start working on the next week's opponent, you know, 24 hours, 36 hours after, you finally have flushed it through your system and you're on to the next game.
How critical are you of yourself?
Very critical, very critical. I was that way as a player, and obviously more so now as a coach, because I think, and especially as a play caller, because you know, the outcome of a game can hinge on a play or two, and I just want to make sure that I'm studying and I'm seeing the tape and I'm putting our guys in the best possible situations on game day.
Along with that, Doug, you meet the media immediately after the game. You meet the next day, and you know, you've heard a lot of criticism in the last day here after the loss to Dallas. How do you handle it? How do you kind of take that in and kind of try to impart knowledge to these media members and fans?
Well, I just got to keep it in perspective, because I know as a fan, fans watch the football. They don't sometimes understand necessarily the scheme of a play or design of a play, or they don't know if an assignment is blown. They only see the ball and the end result. So I got to keep that in perspective a little bit, and then just make sure again, by my own assessment, that I'm calling the right plays and doing the right things for the team. And I don't necessarily worry about the outside noise as much, as because I want to make sure that the guys, you know, internally or in the building are doing okay. And you know, I struggle with it because I hurt for the players, you know, and that's where my hurt and my pain comes from. But it's really easy because we're on to the next opponent, and the best thing for us is to get back out on the field.
The issue here is closing games strong, starting fast, finishing strong. Loss in Detroit fourth quarter, loss in Dallas fourth quarter. How does a team learn to finish strong and close out those games?
Well, you know, again, understanding we're a little bit young in some positions, you know, on offense, and you know, my messaging to the team is, you know, no excuses. We're not going to make any excuses for being young, for being old, for not being fast enough, for whatever. We're not making excuses, and it just comes as a mentality. It comes as a mindset, and sometimes in those situations, you rely on your offensive line. Your run game takes over a little bit, and we've got to do a little bit better there. We've fumbled a couple times in the run game, and especially late in games, and we got to make sure that doesn't happen. But you know, again, it's an aggressive mentality. It's a put the team away mentality that we got to continue to talk about and continue to work on each week. What
are some of the good things and maybe some of the not as good things that you took from Dallas, a team that many believe is the best team right now in the NFC?
Well, you know, I thought that, you know, to be able to score right at the end of half again, 2 minute with a few timeouts and some time left, to do that was great. I think our hurry up tempo there in the second half really put some pressure on the defense, and you could see a couple guys take some knees and tap out just a little bit, and I think that's an advantage to us. You know, I think Carson efficiently had a good game, you know, from a passing standpoint. And then Darren Sproles was a bright spot offensively, and then listen, defensively, I mean, I can't say enough about how well we attacked, we rallied, we kept one of the premier up and coming running backs under 100 yards, you know, for the day, and that was something that our focus was going into the week. So there were a few bright spots that way, and the big key turnover, you know, Jordan Hicks, the turnover there in the end zone, and just opportunities like that are bright spots that can really fuel this team down the road.
There is a call out there for chunk plays, and I know you want chunk yards. Let's talk about that philosophy of offense. It was very horizontal at times on Sunday night. And then some people say, well, boy, is this what the coaching staff is all about? Is this what this offense is going to be, a dink and dunk thing? Your response to that kind of talk?
Stand on the sideline, pull the trigger, call plays in games like that. That's what I ask them to do. You know, you got to play. You got to play how the game is going. Do you want to call shot plays? Yeah, you want to be able to call them and dial them up. And to be quite honest, we do have to get back to that. I don't think I've called enough in the last couple of games. And I've got, again, that's part of my assessment and making sure that I'm helping our team that way. And you know, sometimes too it comes down to how well are we pass protecting? How well is the pass rush? We're on the road. It's a loud stadium, silent count. You got a rookie right tackle. You know, so there's some things there that play into all of it. It's just, you don't always just drop back and throw it down the field. I mean, there's things that you know, they got to play defense too. So it's calculated. You know, some of it is based on tendency and feel, but I would agree that you know, I need to call more of those down the field throws.
New York Giants, another NFC East game. You gave your players Monday and Tuesday off this week. Why?
One, I wanted them to get rest. Two, I wanted them to get away from football for a couple of days. We've had a tough month of football really since our bye, and we got another one coming up on the road, a third team in a row coming off of their break. And I just wanted our guys to, and it was a tough, hard physical game in Dallas the other day, and so I wanted our guys to get away from it for a little bit, enjoy their families, and I challenged them that when they come back to work on Wednesday, it's business as usual, and we get ready for the Giants.
And what are the Giants all about? They're coming off their bye week. They're right in the thick of things in the division as well.
You know, they're getting better offensively. They're beginning to you know, their receivers are taking over a little bit. You know, Odell Beckham has had a couple good games, and you know, Eli is always a you know, he's always a force. He plays extremely well, typically in these games. Defensively, you know, they've upgraded with some of the, you know, with Vernon and JPP's playing good, coming off his hand injury, and you know, so they've got some young talent back there that they're playing good. They're playing better, and so it's going to be another good test for us. They're going to be rested, obviously, coming off of their break, but no excuses. You know, it is what it is, and we get ready for football.
Well, have a good day today. Bring it back strong tomorrow, and let's get a win on Sunday. Doug Pederson, thanks so much for joining us in studio.
As you can see, I don't know, it seems like he understands what went wrong, and hopefully he can fix those problems in the future. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you think he's just blowing smoke up our asses, if you think this guy has no clue, do you think things will get better? Can we beat the Giants? Let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, all that other good stuff, all right? Subscribe, motherfucker. EAGLES. Eagles.